In fact, that was a big debate. Should the Mountie get a little thing going on, get, romantic thing, get his romantic thing game on for quite a while. I don't think that was even, they even touched on that until the second or
No, but it
third
was probably in their
season.
heads from the very start, because that's the idea of the characters, they can't loosen up.
Yeah, but I think it kind of showed another side to the character that people wanted
Well,
to
he had
see.
to be human.
People wanted to see that. You know, they wanted to see this sort of...
He was in love with his dog.
He
Let's not go
was.
there.
Different interview.
I think Benton Fraser's appeal to women are really just twofold, two things. One is the uniform is snappy, and the dog is a definite attractant.
I gotcha. Where you going now, fella?
Hi. Diefenbaker, remember what I told you. Benton Fraser, RCMP, and this is my dog, Wolf.
I thought that was a wolf. Well, he's mine now, because you sure as hell don't have a wolf license.
In fact, he does.
In terms of the dog itself, I think, particularly the female audience, and as it relates to animals, forget about it. It's a done deal. Stick a fork in it. It's done. When it comes to animals and leading men and dogs, there's something about that man in uniform and an animal.
The dog got 5 share points. You take the dog out, and you lose about 20% of your audience.
Yeah, especially with young kids. They love the dog. But we had about 3 different dogs. And Rick was the dog handler for the last 2 years. His dog was fantastic. Could do anything. The first 2 years, I don't think they had some problems with them. Like they're dogs, They're not actors.
That always works for me personally,
So you watched the episodes with the dog?
Actually, I watched all of the episodes when they ran. I was excited about
Actually,
the show
one
when I
time,
started.
because I was sad that they weren't actually using me enough, I read an episode and I was going, this is all about the dog. It's completely a dog show.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, there were episodes where it was all about the dog and his friends. I don't think we ever had an episode like that.
We
had a couple
in
episodes
retrospect,
like
it's fair enough. And, it's kind of cute.
There must be something to be said when a dog is getting more attention than you in the audience.
I know, that's for sure.
The show that wouldn't go away. Yeah, CBS cancels Due South after 1 season. And I say, oh, well, my shot at being a millionaire is over. Maybe I'll only be a quarter millionaire, on to bigger and better things.
But network executives, I don't know. I don't know how they get where they get, because they don't seem, that's not how I would handle it. But they do it with all sorts of shows.
I don't think anybody was aware in the beginning how responsible the fans were for the show returning after the threat of it being canceled. We found that out after, once we were already in progress of the show being back on.
I never doubted that we'd be back each year. And not so much from anything I read, or not so much from anything people were telling me about network response or this or that, just from people on the street, just from emails, just from all that kind of stuff. People loved that show.
It's a peculiar thing, because it was such an enormous success virtually everywhere. And if today it were on a network in the United States, it would be an out-and-out hit. But at the time, it was kind of what they called on the bubble. It was successful, but not a runaway. And then the regimes changed at CBS, and that every time someone comes new into a network, they tend to change everything.
4 months later, I get a phone call. They found money.
The production company Alliance decided to just go ahead anyway. And then CBS's new season was going in the toilet.
And CBS viewed several of the episodes, and they liked what they saw, and they picked up the show, and we were back on the network.
When they said, we got 22 more, I went, oh my God, what a nightmare. Everyone else was really happy. I just couldn't. they weren't doing enough with me, my characters. I was furious.
Why Daniel Cash wanted to leave the show, I don't really know. I think he felt that probably he wasn't getting enough screen time, or he thought he could do better elsewhere. Or...
The thing that sells the show, or sold that show, was the Mountie and the Chicago Cop.
You wanted to be a star. You wanted to be a
Well, I
movie
am a star at home.
That's good.
My kids think I'm a star.
He wanted to go to Hollywood and be a big. Oh, absolutely. You're a star, Daniel. We're all stars in our own right, I guess.
If an actor has to leave the series, the writers conveniently write a scene that kills them off, or they die accidentally, or something happens to help them be able to leave the show.
I burst into Paul Haggis's office and demanded that he kill me. They were mad. Everyone was mad at me. They thought I was a spoiled brat, or whatever. That he wanted to do something, that I wanted to do something that I probably wouldn't achieve, and all that. And I totally understand all of that attitude, and I understood then. But there was no way that the show was. I was afraid I was going to spend another 3 years doing this, and it was just a period in my life where I wanted to push forward and attempt to go further in some directions. And it was just, everyone was furious at me. They just, to be honest, I mean, they just thought I was a silly man, and maybe I was.
Louis!
As an exit, being blown up in a car is terrific, I think. So that was very nice that he didn't just sort of leave.
It was sad, you know. It was kind of sad to lose the car. No. Yeah, I miss Danny. Danny was fun to have around on the set.
Did you miss me?
Who? Did I miss you? Personally, or do I miss Dewey?
You didn't miss Dewey. You still have Dewey.
Yeah, I missed you, Daniel. Make you feel better?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
We moved into pretty heavy stuff sometimes, and then pretty just fluffy, light, funny stuff.
Great dress, Neiman's.
Sears.
Really? Looks fabulous on you.
I'll call you back.
Paul Gross and Drag, that's definitely something that's gone down in my memories of Due South. We had so much fun doing that.
I'll do the job. I don't even know who you are.
Actually, I believe you do.
I'm sorry, I don't. Ray, it's me. Frazier?
Yes, dressing up as a woman seemed like a good idea on paper. And in fact, if I recall, it's something I think I might have even suggested to Haggis or to somebody at some point. Just, we should do a drag episode. It's a fatal mistake, and if anybody's watching this who thinks that might be a good idea, I would really counsel them not to pursue that. It's painful. I don't know who the diabolical fiend was who designed female undergarments, but they're hideous. There's nothing more revolting than pantyhose. And bras are disgusting, and high-heeled shoes are ludicrous. It's horrible, horrible.
First of all, the wardrobe department had to outfit him and try and give him somewhat of a girlish figure, because he does not have a girlish figure at all. He's not a huge man, but he's a big man. So the minute you put him into a dress with breasts and shoulder pads and hipsters, it was quite hysterical. And then when we started pinning his hair and making him up and putting the false lashes on and then putting the wig on, and at the same time we're doing his stunt double too. So he wasn't alone in the crime. It was outrageous. It really was. What really angered me, although he looked like a man in drag, he just adapted to the makeup. He was beautiful. His eyes were like gorgeous. I'd have killed to have eyes like that.